Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and some of our favorite TV shows. And this episode is all about the latest episode of Married at First Sight. So again, if this is content that you enjoy, that you want more of, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, hit the likes, request notifications, and we will definitely see you in the comments. And as my wife is prone to say, oh, she forgot. Share.
Share.
Make sure you share.
Wait, what did I say?
All right. So, latest episode, we'll just kind of take them couple by couple. This is day 3 of them being married. So they're on honeymoons at the resort. We can talk about that resort in just a moment. But the couple that probably is the easiest right now to just kind of discuss and dialogue on is Zach and Michaela.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, he got COVID. It was one of his friends.
Right.
He should get on them right now. I'll be calling him like, man, you messed up my honeymoon.
Messed it up. He was, yeah, because they've already consummated, right?
Yes, they have.
So
Hopefully
he's got COVID. She doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
She gets sent back to Houston. He stays to quarantine more in Florida. So not a horrible place to quarantine, right? Florida Keys, cool. But definitely not the best timing for them.
No, he's stuck in the room too.
Yeah. And Michaela, we see the clips. Michaela was having a little fit, but I get it.
Oh yeah, your whole expectation about what you're going to plan on the honeymoon. She's like, I got all these bathing suits and little outfits.
I got it for him.
Right, and I can't even share it.
So yeah, hopefully they can bounce back as far as just the lost time. Because there is that bonding time that happens on the honeymoon. It's in some respects we've seen in previous seasons. It's a make or break time also. Right. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, they are in 2 different parts of the country as of this episode. Right, he's in Florida still. She is back home in Houston, and then her plane was delayed, so she has no baggage either.
Right. So it's just horrible. But hopefully they'll, keep talking, and that could help build if they're, communicating. Hopefully he hasn't, because when you're sick, I sleep a lot. Like he was saying, I was exhausted anyway.
You sleep more than you sleep.
I do.
Yes.
Oh God.
Listen, my wife, I have a saying that my wife sleeps her life away. She loves to sleep, but
it helps.
Yes, but when she's sick, it's just like
sick.
I go and just check and make sure she's breathing, make sure that there's still something coming from her. Yeah. All right. So, and then the couple that sometimes they just look really random, like Brett and Ryan. There are some. Let us know what you think, because there are some like little interviews and stuff
when they were doing an interview at the pool about their impressions of the new couples. I was like, it's like they just picked random people to come
They just picked up the couple that just walked across. Right, like, hey, can we interview you?
Hey, can we interview you guys right here? We got some new couples out there. Can you tell us about them?
Okay.
And they just look awkward.
So they start off discussing like first dates and what her last first date was, and kind of what he would do with the first date, what have you. And then they do spend some time with the other couples, kind of, and of course they've been kissing, what have you.
Right.
Then they're going to have some massages, and they start to get into some deeper questions.
Correct. Yeah.
And she starts asking questions, about, what was it about kids?
Right. Like, do you want to have kids? How soon? And how her feeling was that she was getting older.
Right.
Well, maybe I can live without kids. And now that she has someone to share it with, those thoughts are coming back. And I think any single person would, as you get older and you're like, oh, this may not happen for me. And I don't want to be single to have kids.
Right.
I can let that go.
Right.
So. Yeah. And she's a school teacher, so she's around kids.
Which sometimes could be a deal breaker for having kids.
So she's probably like, I definitely don't want to do this alone.
But he, they have that conversation, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to kind of switch the topic just a little. I got needs.
Talking about babies, let's go back and how do you create babies? However you create them, I need a lot of that.
I want some of that, yeah.
I need a lot of that.
And when we going to talk about that? When we going to get to that area?
Right, you skipped that part. Can we start with how we get to babies before we talk about babies?
And they have a nice dinner together, but he does say that for him, his deal breaker is being with someone who does not want to have kids. Right.
What
And
makes sense?
he's got it mapped out. He's like, I want 2.75. Don't know how you figure that out.
Right.
But he's basically like, he wants at least a boy and a girl. He'd like
Right.
to have 2 boys and a
Right.
girl. Get it, right? I
Mhm.
think we when we were talking and dating, what have you, we both said we wanted one of
Max,
each.
right,
Right.
right. At
We
least
think
a
that-
max of 3. It was like a max of 3.
Right.
We'll see, but we would
We-
love to have one of each.
Right. And we got one of each, and we were
Yep.
like, we're done. We're good.
Oh, no. You were done when I made you go get our last one out of his crib because he'd been crying like every single night, and
He
it was your
cried all
turn.
the time. So I was like, look, I'm too old for this. I'm done.
Yep, he said it. I was like, okay, we're good now.
Yep, we were done. So we got one of each. They are out the house now.
Right.
They are doing well in life. So we did good. All right.
So we did good. We
Listen,
got.
We got it done. All right. But also he kind of makes the observation, which I think is a smart observation, that intimacy for her probably has a lot more meaning.
Right, since it's been so long.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 years since she's last been with
Correct.
someone. Whereas for him, again, the serial dater, which I don't know.
I don't know.
They say he is. I take
I
their
don't
word
know.
for it.
I don't know how many.
I don't know how it happens down in Houston, Texas, or at least out in the suburbs of
Yeah.
Texas or in the country. I don't know.
How many of those he actually had some fun with?
But he's evidently dated a lot more than she has.
Yeah.
So for him, it's like, look, I want the intimacy. I want the act. She has a little more weight
Right.
to it as far as what it means. So.
I think it'll mean more to him too now that he's waiting and he's sharing it with someone who's married to. So
yeah. And then Johnny and Bao.
oh my gosh, they are my favorite couple. They're so cute.
I'm starting to turn towards
They're so
Johnny and Bao. I'm
cute.
like, okay, I can see
They're
it. I can see it.
cute.
So
Cute.
if you've been a fan of the channel, if you've seen some of the other videos, you know I was not feeling Johnny and Bao as a couple, but I think that we might see something there, right?
Yeah.
I think they're both making the efforts.
Right. They're both
There's
making
some
yeah.
awkwardness with it, what have
Right.
you.
Of course.
True.
Right.
But I think that they're making the effort. I think I like them.
Right. And I think sometimes you can't do so many absolute. Well, this might be the deal breaker. This red flag might be the deal breaker.
Right.
I think anytime you're really getting to know somebody, you're just going to have to like, okay, we're going to work through this together.
Yeah. So, it starts off, they're waking up and he goes into this little story about animals breaking into the room.
They was talking about mice.
Right. I thought so too, because they're talking, we've heard from Myrla about how bad the resort is.
Mhm.
So I'm like, do they have like little possums? You know what I immediately thought of? Look, if you're a fan of Martin, there's an episode of Martin where they go to this resort and there's this big thing that it's a big bit, but okay, I digress. So I thought that, it was like little things just crawling around.
Remember we went to Mexico and there was a lizard in our room?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was done.
She was done.
I was like, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah. So, but he was actually talking about her snoring.
Right. And I was like, oh my God. So they were kind of laughing and joking.
And he said he put on headphones.
He did. Well,
he had headphones next to the door.
I had to get earplugs because
you
he
just
snored.
telling it all.
It might as well. When we first got married, because we didn't sleep together before we got married. And I didn't know you snored. Like, I don't think, did you ever, when you fell asleep on the couch, I don't think you ever snored.
I don't know.
But, oh my God, that first night, I was like, I'm not going to get any sleep. I'm so tired.
Evidently, we figured it out.
Oh yeah, I can sleep like a baby now.
Okay. So, and then they're figuring out the rest of the day, what have you. She, there's the insecurity of how she looks, and he even brings it up how they look in bathing suits because they're going to be on the pool, whatever. Right. He's like, I haven't really worked out a whole lot. Right. She says that she collects bathing suits and calls 90%. Them practical lingerie.
And he's like, what? And he's like, you never wear? She's like, no. She's like, do you wear it around the house? He's like, sometimes I'll wear it around the house. She's like, I just feel so insecure. And he's like, okay. And I'm thinking, well, if you stay at home, that might work around the house. So it's like you're trying to discover people,
Right.
at the same time trying to understand their thought process.
So he's getting that. And then we find out that her hall pass is Conan O'Brien. And if you don't know what a hall pass is, it's basically just if there were ever the opportunity that she could get with Conan O'Brien, it would be the thing that her husband would have to give her kind of freedom to do that.
Right.
Cool. All right. Conan O'Brien, cool.
And he said he would. He said, "Can I watch?"
Yeah.
I was
like, dude.
He was like, "Whoa."
Pull up. All right. But he really does like her. We can tell there's definitely some chemistry building there. And then he wants to do a romantic dinner with her.
Right.
But he asks Johnny to come and help him pick out.
I don't know. Was that staged? It felt staged.
It probably was. Because I mean, here's the thing. I would have done. I would have asked if Johnny's my guy, right? Because they say that Johnny and Jose say that they have a bromance going on, whatever. Cool. But I would probably say, you know what, Johnny, hey, look, can you bring Bao? You guys help me pick out something for Bao. I mean, yeah, Johnny, bring Rachel. I'm sorry. Jose, bring Rachel. Right? Jose, bring Rachel. I want to pick something out for Bao. Cool. Because I'll be honest, as a guy, I kind of, even at this stage, I know some of your taste. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have somebody who at least has an eye for feminine fashion to give some input, right? Like I'll ask our daughter. I'd rather ask her.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to test that out. If we take you in the mall, if you could pick me out an outfit.
Okay, you figure that out. But it was a little staged. It felt a little forced, right? And so they pick out some things. And Johnny is about to shoot his shot.
Hey, he going all in.
He's
Let's
like,
do this.
I want to make it clear. I want to make it plain.
Right.
He remembers her favorite wine.
Yes, he does it right.
He pours it on thick. And her feelings are mutual.
Yes. She's like, I like you too, Johnny. Their eyes meet. Their lips are starting to touch. It was just like in a movie, that moment.
Yeah.
We were just missing the music. See, that's the cue where they should have put in the music, right?
Silly.
But it was so cute.
It was. So I'm like, okay, I'm on the Johnny and Bao team right now.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But then we find out as they go to bed, he's like, hey, this little pillow that's been kind of like this third person in the bed.
Right.
Can we get rid of him?
Well, and I think because she's very literal, they're both very analytical people. So she thought he was serious. I think she didn't understand that he was replacing that for somebody and thought that was maybe just the need he had.
Right.
So she's like, oh, sure, but I thought you needed a pillow for yourself. He's like, no, I want you to replace it. And she was like, sure, but I want to share.
And so she tells the story about how she recognizes that she snored and how it's been embarrassing for her. And she tells how she was like a counselor at camp.
Yes. And every year she goes to camp, she doesn't sleep at night because she doesn't want them to hear her snore.
Yeah.
Now, that is very extreme.
Right.
I would rather you told everybody, well, it's just hard. Being a child is just hard.
Right.
I mean, sometimes maybe you could tell like, hey guys, I might make some noise at night. Not meaning to, but biologically, whatever. I snore.
But at the end of the day, go to sleep.
Right.
If you got to deal with it in the morning, you got to deal with it in the morning.
Right.
Go to sleep.
Right.
Get your rest.
Or if you feel that way, I'm surprised she never asked her parents to take her to get like a sleep study or figure something else out.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy. I was like, how did you do? I was like, how did you stay up that long? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so he felt like, wow, first of all, this is the wrong time to share this.
Because he was like,
we're about to get
night. We might be trying to get a little. May not go all the way,
first,
but at least
second base.
I could get first base, go around, maybe hit second.
Little slide.
See what third looks like.
No. I just want to tell you my biggest insecurity before we go to bed.
Pump the brakes.
I had to learn from that.
Flag on the plate.
Not now.
Not
We ain't
happening.
talk about this right now. Other things in mind.
Brothers, don't y'all hate it when you know you set the mood, and all of a sudden there's this serious conversation that comes up? You're like, listen,
Cruise ship.
let's talk about that next week. Right now, we got other business to take care. That's how Johnny was. Johnny was like, dude, you just. So I'm still Johnny and Valentine.
I am. They'll work through it.
All right. And then Rachel and Jose.
Boy, they are in love.
They are in love.
Even though they haven't said they were in love.
They're very touchy. They're very affectionate. Right?
Which is sweet.
Yes.
I mean, your brother, your stepbrother's like that. Him and his wife are very affectionate.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like when you feel a little awkward, like, should I be here with you guys?
Right. Do I need to excuse myself?
Should I leave and come back after y'all get done?
Yeah.
That's kind of how they are. Yeah. Which, hey, if they love that about each other, that is great.
But she does bring up the fact. She's like, okay, look, I just need you to know. Don't feed me. Don't brush my teeth. I'm not a kid. I am an independent woman. INDEPENDENT. You know what that means.
And I was like, I get what she's saying, but it was like, these are intimate moments that you like, the first piece of cake you share. Yes. Like there was like strawberries and chocolate. Yes. Those are things that are trying to be more romantic. Now the toothbrush thing, okay, you've gone a little too far, you know. And then he was like, I want to be fed, feed me. Shoot, I love that.
So listen, what's his name? Jose he's a little creepy for me.
Saying that, I think it's fine.
You think it's fine? That's cool. I'm just like, yeah, he's a little weird for me. I don't know. All right. They go fishing. They catch some fish, so they do spend time.
That's what he wanted to do, and he was so excited that she wanted to learn.
Now, one thing I will say, I do think that she has some insecurities about being taken care of, right?
Yeah.
He is. Now, I'll give him credit because he's like, look, though he's very set in his view of the role that husband and wife have. So he's like, I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that things are taken care of. I've got a house, you know. So he's set up his life so that when he gets married, he's in a position to be provider. He's in a position to be husband, what have you, right?
Right.
So he's done that. So I give him that. But she's like, look, I need to know where I fit in with this. She wants to, as she says, pull her weight. She wants to, do that. So that's going to be kind of their conflict of how they maneuver with that.
They need to balance, right? Mm-hmm. Because her dad was very stern with her about making sure she was independent. She knew what's going on, because I guess the father has seen where other women, you know, they end up getting divorced, but they have no skill set. They have no way to take care of themselves. And he didn't want his daughters to fall in that.
Absolutely.
Well, you got to be balanced. Right. So yeah, I want to know what's going on in finance if I ever have to take over.
Right.
But at the same time, you can have it. So I think it's just going to be them talking through their perspectives and their viewpoints, and kind of like, what does that look like for us going forward?
And finding some compromise, you know. Maybe they do, you know, the house that he has, maybe that is a rental house. They get another house that they can establish as their own. Cool. Okay. They even have the conversation, which I think is a great conversation any couple should have as it relates to how we're going to handle the money.
Right, because she's very concerned. But this is the thing. You tell them you are bad with money.
Right.
But then you say, well, I don't want you to handle all the money. Well, you can't have both.
Right.
If you're bad with money, and the guy got 2 houses, and he is debt free, and he now has to pay off your credit cards, I think you're going to have to let some of that go.
Listen, release that insecurity, because at the end of the day, you know, and she's like, I want to make sure that I can afford it. Yes. So that's also, I think, in some respects, the distinction between, are you looking for a partner? Are you viewing this as a partnership? Or are you viewing this as, this is a person that you're connecting with that could very well fail? And again, these are discussions and questions that they
Mhm.
still have time to grow into.
Right.
No one's expecting that as soon as they get back from their honeymoon, that all of a sudden they open up a joint account together and all of
No.
that. I
She
don't
haven't
think
even
that's
changed her name yet.
right.
So, no.
So, I think that there is definitely, as these conversations continue to happen, that there do need to be some compromises on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then our favorite couple, Gil and Debbie Downer. I mean Myrla, whatever name, Myrla.
Okay, so let's start with him at the pool.
Well, even before that, they're talking, right? And because they have breakfast sent up,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So they have breakfast sent up, and she's like, "There's no protein." I get it because
Right. I'd be like, I want some eggs.
I'm a meatitarian, right?
Right.
She's a vegetarian or
Right.
pescatarian. I'm a
Right.
meatitarian,
Right.
right? So I get that, but then she's like, this isn't the type of milk, and she's making him taste it, and he's like,
Right.
"It's milk." Well, is
Right.
it almond milk? Is it cashew milk?
Shut up.
So he starts making statements, and he's like, she's very particular.
Right.
She has a very strong personality. These are his words, right?
These is adjectives.
And then she's like, she admits that she's a whiner. That's putting it very mildly.
Right.
But he's like, you're not a Karen. Yeah, she's a Karen in training.
No, you didn't. Oh my gosh.
Give her about 10 more years, she's gonna be a full-blown Karen.
Oh no, don't say that. I mean, I think there's always an opportunity for her to learn here. If she
Do
makes
you
it,
really think, do you really think that this woman who every interaction we see from her is almost her complaining about something?
if someone
can
is
see her-
willing to change, obviously this would take someone who has more patience than I think poor
Gil?
has. But I'm like, I don't think the expert realized how embedded this is in this young lady's everyday life.
Yes.
And they said, well, she needs someone's to be patient. But normally that would be someone you done met and made a decision. I'm falling in love with this person.
Right.
But when you're just marrying and meeting someone, and then you're going to tell me to be patient with this person, because everything I say is going to be no, I don't like it. No, I don't want to do it. Or I do it, and now you're punish me in the sense I got to go lay down. I don't feel good. I'll let you know when I get back up.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a lot.
Because she complains about the resort. Now, I went and looked, and the resort it's a
$600. You
it's a
said
$600 a night resort, right?
for what? That's a one room, or is
I
it
think
two
that
room?
was starting at. So
Okay.
typically that you're talking about a one bedroom or what have you, right?
Mhm,
Now, we've been in some amazing resorts. When we went to Mexico, we went in some amazing
Mhm.
all-inclusive resorts that are
Mhm.
right up on the beach. Absolutely.
Mhm.
There's one that was an amazing one. It had a beach, but in order to really get, but there were some sections where it was like a lot of rocks and it was hard to
Right.
get to the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So I get that it's not necessarily right up on the beach. Although if you look at some pictures, there are some areas where it does seem like there is things set up on the beach. So it looks like they have like a wedding gazebo or something like that. That's right on the ocean, what have you. So it's not a 5 and 6 star really, if that's even a thing. It's a 4-star in the Florida Keys. So it's not like she's staying at the Motel 6 of resorts.
Right.
But granted, it's not the JW Marriott or
Right.
the Palace resorts, what have you.
Right.
So I get that it may not have been where you would have wanted to go on your ideal honeymoon.
Correct.
And I think what I saw and what I was kind of irritated with was Gil is trying to ask her, how are you feeling about this?
Right.
And her conversation goes to her
Right.
dissatisfaction with the resort.
Right. Because he's like, no, about me, you being here with me. Like,
the whole
he's like,
thing.
I get it. We're in a room, but it's so exciting that we're married and we're together.
Right.
Hello. Woohoo.
Yeah.
I'm here, the one you won't kiss.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So I think that could be so much and so overwhelming for a person.
Right.
I don't think I feel like sometimes the experts don't take that in mind. Like, this is something that's going to be very overwhelming for a person.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially when you don't tell me up front, like, look, you're going to have to be patient because every time you turn around, she's not going to like something.
Right.
What?
So they go out. He goes out because all the couples do meet up
Mhm.
at the pool, right? Except for, of course, Michaela and Zach, who are we've talked about already. And then Myrla is not there because she has to work.
I'm like, you're working on your honeymoon?
Now, if I remember correctly, isn't she like a leadership coach or something like that? I
Right. I
think that's
thought
what I thought that's what she
yeah,
did, right?
she's a consultant.
Right. You can take some time off from your consulting business.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Hey guys, since I am getting, and it's a short notice.
Right.
So, hey guys, I gotta work. Like, oh, I got a honeymoon,
Right.
because this is short notice.
Right.
So we're gonna have to reschedule or have someone else do it
Or later in the day, earlier in the day, what have you. I mean, there have been times
first thing in
like
the morning.
we've been on vacation and I
Yeah.
had to get some things accomplished, right?
Yeah, me too. First
So
thing,
first thing
some
in the morning,
downtime.
and then that way the rest of the
Rest of the
day
day is ours.
we're good. So so Gil is of course out there with the other couples by himself.
He should not. I think he was very irritated about the whole fact she couldn't be there.
Yes.
So he decided to share his
Oh,
irritation.
he shared a lot. He
And
shared a lot.
and was it Bao and Johnny was like, I think he should have kept that part private because he took the volleyball or what.
So if you remember
with
what was that
Faith.
movie Castaway with Tom Hanks? He made his own Wilson.
Yes.
called it
Yes.
Myrla and was like, it's her stunt double.
Yeah.
He said that she acts like a toddler and has tantrums at times.
Yes. And then he has to feed her and put her to bed.
And he called her to the other couples. He called her high maintenance.
Yes.
So here's just listen. If you are not in a relationship, are you looking to a relationship or what have you, don't overshare about your personal frustrations with people who they don't have any say in it.
Right.
It's not, because here's the thing. The ladies have, if we're honest, the ladies have somewhat bonded.
Right.
Just like the guys have somewhat bonded.
Right. You're mixed company.
So who's to say that Bao and really Rachel probably was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
If Michaela was there, Michaela would have been the first one there. But who's to say that they're not calling up Myrla and be like, look, girl,
he was just sharing everything. He was telling that, oh, I know you said you weren't going to kiss them, but he's just talking about how you're a toddler and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, really?
And he's frustrated, of course, because there is no physical contact, it seems.
Right. None.
He gets a kiss on the cheek, and he's, for him, the other couples are like, wait, what?
Right.
One of them even said, it could feel like rejection.
Right. And that was Johnny, right? Because she already told the ladies she wasn't kissing.
Right.
And she indicated to him, she's like, I don't kiss until after the third date. So
at a minimum.
Right. So I would have said to her, so on our fourth day being married, do I get a kiss? I think some people would need to have some reassurance. Like, okay, you don't kiss, but do you want to kiss me?
Right.
I mean, like,
and we're not talking a slob down.
No, he's not talking about being.
He's like, just can I kiss on the lips?
I just know I want to show some affection towards you.
So he does ask a good question about, because he's like, okay, how many long-term or extensive relationships have you been in? I think for her it was 4 as well. Both of them had like 4.
Right.
And he asked a good question of like, okay, what did you learn in your last relationship?
Right.
Right.
Did she answer that? I don't think she did, or at least they cut it like
she learned, and it was again all about her, but in a, I need to be taken care of, I need security, I need this, I need that. So I get that she learned some things, but I don't think that she learned maybe some things about herself that she needs to work on.
Right.
It was more of what she needs from the relationship. Right. And less about what she needs to work on.
Right. And I think that's what he was looking for.
Yeah, I think that's what she needs to look for, is figure out what she needs to work on. Because she even makes a statement about how she is touchy in her relationships, and he's like, okay,
Right. Because she said that, I was like, what? So
She was
once
like,
it kicks in, like after 3 or 4 months after it kicks in, then it's strong. Like what
Myrla is
is?
a walking contradiction. She will say A
I was
and
like,
then tell you,
so
no, I said 1.
if the man can last for 60 to 90 days, then he gets all the touching
Yeah.
and the feeling.
So, and it brings into also the conversation. And one thing I found weird was, as far as his relationships, she had a red flag almost on the fact that he hadn't had a serious relationship in 6 years. And for him,
Yeah.
serious relationship is at least 6 months.
At least 6 months they've been together.
Right.
So,
But then they start talking about kind of their love languages, right?
right.
And so he's like, okay, yes, you like gifts. I get it. Okay. So I don't know if you caught this. She complained about the ring. She's like, this got to change.
Oh yeah, she can. Yeah, she can.
So listen, if already we just 3 days into this and you're already complaining about the ring, you know what? Go get your own ring. Go get it from Kay's, get it from Cartier,
No.
wherever you want to get it from.
They get it from Tiffany's.
Wherever. Go get it yourself. Figure out what you want. I'll put it on your finger, but go ahead and get what you want. I ain't paying for it, but go ahead. All right. So, but something that she said was like, okay, he asked her, if I get you this gift from Cartier, or if I give you something that like a quilt that I made myself,
personally,
she's like, she would reject it.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, I'm not 85 years old. Why would you in the world? He said, no, it's about me making it. Like I made the
time and
quilt.
effort.
And he's like, no, I don't want that. And it's like, okay.
So Gil, I mean, there's red flags all over the place. Listen, okay, you're a fireman. I'm gonna put it in the fireman terms. You've got a 12 alarm fire
12 alarm. 12
happening. Figure it out. Get out. He does now. They do joke back and forth with each other. More of it is him in my opinion,
It's
passive aggressive.
It is.
He is passive aggressive cutting her.
He is. And she's like, I like the banter, but it's gonna get a little bit, it's gonna get tiring.
Just like you complaining about everything is gonna get tiring.
Right. It's gonna get tiring. And so they need to have a serious conversation like, hey, because she's like, I'm not a Debbie Down. I would have said, you know what? Let's really have a conversation. Since I known you, you barely, like 99% don't like anything.
Right.
Why is that? Have you explored that? Because that's where I would have been. Yeah. Have you been to counseling for this?
Get you some therapy on that one.
I was like, because this is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And just tell her, like, this is going to be an issue.
And they're eating macaroons, and he calls them bougie cookies, and he said, this is just like you.
Right. Well, and because he's like, I guess he's never had them before.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, he was a surprise.
Right.
He was like, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to get the cookies you like. He's like, where's the, it's like, I could have had a chocolate chip cookie because this is all, it's just a small cookie.
Right.
So.
And he does try to surprise her. They go on a plane ride around the keys, right?
Keys.
And even when he's kind of telling her, she's kind of like, but I'll do it, right? And they get on the plane, and she's again finding things. Now, can't say don't know. I know she says that she got motion sickness, and she wasn't feeling well, what have you. But it was just, I believe it more, in my opinion, if everything else wasn't a complaint.
Right. Yeah.
But the fact that you're complaining about everything, to me, this is just something else you're complaining about.
Right. Because I get it. It was them trying to, like, he had his arm around her. It was about being close and being intimate and sharing a moment that this could be a memory for them.
Right.
And she just shot it down.
Yep.
She's like, I'll pretend like I like it. Oh, nope. Don't like it. We're done.
We're up in the air. Oh, no. I feel sick. Nope. We got to land.
Let's get down. Let's get down.
So that's kind of where things are. I know in the preview for next week, we're starting to see some conflicts start to come to the forefront. So we'll see. So as far as where I am on couples right now, all right, Rachel and Jose, I think I don't have great hopes for them. I think they're very affectionate, but I think that there are still some things that she's going to see that are gonna, and maybe it's just my discomfort with some of him. I feel he's kind of creepy. I've said that plenty of times, but we'll see. I don't give them high. I don't have high hopes for them. Johnny and Bao, I'm changing. I have some hopes for them. High hopes. Yep, I've got high hopes. All right. Gil and Myrla, no. Nope. Mm-mm. Not happening.
It's very low for them.
If Gil has friends, no. Run. All right. Brett and Ryan, I think will make it. I think they'll be okay right now.
Yeah, again, they still have a lot to talk about.
Right.
I know she talks about that, they've been joking and light and they've gotten a little bit of serious, but again, they don't know each other and they're really out of their comfort zone as far as type. So I think they can make it. I'll put them in the middle.
Yep. And then Zach and Michaela, based upon this episode, it's really hard to tell because, of course, there was
Right.
very little interaction.
Yeah. Hopefully they talked a lot on the phone, depending on how well he was feeling. And then they got a lot catch up. He's like, I hope I can make it up to her. So
Yes.
they're gonna have some great moments coming up.
Yes. So that's it for this. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know if we missed anything. And then, of course, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, like, and share, and request notifications. And we will see you in the comments. Have a great one. Be blessed. We'll see you next time.